Hi, American fell on my phone and welcome to another video. Today we are jumping into Björk's Utopia. This is her most recent album, but it is all the way from back to 2017. So I'm hoping Björk's not on a big hiatus, or I hope she's just really working on music for the future. And I'm really excited to see where this project in particular takes us. It is seemingly just a major collaboration between Björk and Arca, both of whom I love. And I really like seeing how Arca produced for Björk on Volnakura. I thought it was a cool collaboration, and I really want to see how that collaboration has deepened on Utopia. This is a long album, an hour and 11 minutes, so for my camera not dying and filling up with space and all that, I will probably be trying to keep my comments as brief as possible. But, I mean, I also want to enjoy the album, so I'm going to give myself that benefit as well. Thank you for requesting this video, and anyway, let's get into it. Track number 1, Arisen My Senses. Ooh, quirky. Okay, this already sounds like Mutant production. Ooh, it's a little squeaky. Oh, she's saying Arisen My Senses. It's so hard to hear what Björk is saying because her vocals are just another instrument here. Oh, I feel the power behind her. Ooh, the accompaniment getting a little quieter. Awaken my senses. Alright. Ooh. This is like pounding me in the heart. For him? I think that's the first lyric I actually understood. Besides the awaken and arise in my senses. Ooh, it's coming back. To be seen? Okay. He sees me for who I am. Oh, I think it's gonna transition. Yeah, it did. So it was Arise in My Senses, and what a way to start an album. I feel like I say that with every album reaction, but what I mean here, this is very distinct to me. I don't know if you could tell, I'm filming this at 1 in the morning, and I was sleepy, and I was like, am I gonna be able to go through an album? And yes, if it's like this, for sure. This felt beautiful, and I just read that Björk likened the melody of this song to a constellation in the sky. Oh, yeah, agreed. Frankly, it sounds so beautiful. It hits you so much. Arca and Björk really just put it all together. This is the clearest of, Björk having her very distinct voice and beautiful storytelling structure, and Arca really just doing Arca's thing of really just creating an amazing soundscape for us. And I felt this was so impactful. And for me, I had listened to and a week ago or so, and I really enjoyed that. But it definitely felt an earlier part, and that in 3 years we've gone from and to this. It's incredible. The lyrics talk about how a first kiss is an activation of all your senses. Agreed. Honestly, I don't really have much to say about that, except for that's a beautiful metaphor, analogy, and I feel all my senses have been awoken because of this song. I'm pretty much just getting the emotion I felt with Joga, which is probably my favorite Björk song. So they're really coming for me. Track number 2 is Blissing Me. My mouth was kissing him. We have these continuing strings from Arisen My Senses. It's cool. MP3s. Alright, talk about the technology. Ooh, kind of picked up in speed a little bit. This This song just bops my head side to side, really. It's cool. Oh, now we have this pounding beat. I love that. He's blissing me. Okay, Björk. Ooh, I like that like sound, that like, I don't know, like a door stop. Feels like there's some sort of breakdown happening here. What's going on? I maintain my own intimacy? Okay. Did I fall in love with love? So that was Blissing Me. And that was a beautiful song. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, like, it just sounds so pretty. Like, I feel like I'm in like a butterfly garden, frankly. Like, it was very pretty. Definitely just like a generally like positive experience. Lyrically, I really like the lyrics actually a lot. It's about her trying to fall in love again, and it's specifically about like two music nerds like, you know, geeking out about music and like sending those conversations. Apparently, Björk labeled this album her Tinder album, even though she doesn't use Tinder, which I think is just hilarious. Like Vespertine being her Napster album and this being her Tinder album. What an evolution, frankly. But it's basically trying to be vulnerable with her heart again, you know, after Volnicura shattering everything. Like allowing her to open up, but at the end of the day, feeling like, did I just fall in love with love instead of actually falling in love with this guy? So I don't know. I can't answer that, Björk. I don't know if you Björk fans out there know much about this relationship. But it seems like she's in general like happy, or at least she's trying to discover herself and become happy again. Track number 3 is The Gate. Oh, that felt like kind of like a chant or chorus. Oh, it's like a flute in the background. This way that the vocals are delivered is kind of hard to decipher. Oh, feels like we're kind of evolving the song. I feel like I'm entering a cave. I care for you. Ooh, I like that synth. That's fun. Ooh, I love how she said parts there. That's where we unite. Ooh, I like those like synths just coming out of nowhere. They always get me. My silhouette is oval? It is the gate. She's the gate. I love how she's belting out this care for you. Are we descending into gibberish? So that was The Gate, and what a song, honestly. I forgot that Björk is a fan of using gibberish in her songs. And that's why sometimes I can't understand what she's saying. Like the whole intro where I was just like, what is she doing? Like, I can't hear a word she's saying in the way that she's delivering it. And it's because there's nothing really to deliver. It's just gibberish. And I think that's pretty iconic. I think that is very a Björk thing to do. I can't think of any other artist that puts gibberish into their songs. I guess Arca, to some extent, puts non-lyrical vocals in it. So I guess to some degree, like that's a thing among like producers like Arca and Sophie. But like an actual like person who like regularly sings in their song, like I think that's very interesting. I'll take it. I like this song more for what it represents. I realized in the lyrics that the wound, like the chest wound, like it was beginning to heal, but she's gonna keep it open. And so that's directly referencing Volnicura. This is like the gate between Utopia and Volnicura. And she's gonna keep it open. I guess probably a sense of both learning from the experience and also allowing yourself to be more open towards love as well, rather than trying to be closed off and not communicate with her partner. But like, yeah, I like this song for that. I like all the flourishes. They just come and they build over time. I didn't comment every single time, obviously, but like they were so cool. Very cool. Arca really is going off on this project. Like, she can do a lot. So I'm really impressed with it. I think this song is not one I might listen to as often in terms of like, oh, I want a catchy song or this will spiritually move me. But in terms of like, is it a great song? For sure. Like, I really like what it represents, and I really like the atmosphere of it as well. Track number 4 is Utopia, the album title. Oh, a lot of flute. I guess that's where we get the album cover from. Oh, that is such an interesting noise. This feels like classical piano mixed with a little bit of Arca fun. Oh, speeding up and Björk actually sings. Oh, that is such an interesting noise to have in the background. It's a little distracting. You assigned me to protect. Utopia. There you go. Purify toxicity. So that was Utopia. And what a song. Very flute heavy. Very like bird sounding as well. And I realized that there's also a bird on the cover a little bit too. So very clear that this is the title track of the album. Yeah. Okay, so this is basically like Björk's Utopia, and she feels connected to nature. Obviously, we've seen Björk be connected to nature and feel connected to nature and show those connections with nature in her lyrics and songs. And so it makes sense that in her Utopia, what she thinks of Utopia, that she's connected to nature. There's a lot of birds there. There's a lot of flutes. Flutes, I guess that I would consider those to be very natural. I mean, they even mention flutes in the song itself. And like, she's just really idealizing what her utopia is and feeling like grounded in nature and like what her dream world would be. And I think in a world where there's so much climate change and so much lack of care and compassion and consideration for the environment, I think it's a very important track to make and very much shows where Björk stands on it. She really has like a good headspace for it, and I hope that soon enough, like, governments will too. I don't enjoy the song necessarily as much as some of the other songs on this album already, but that's just because like a lot of classical food, I mean, it's very classical, and I don't know, I guess how prepared I was for that, and also how much I listen to like this type of genre of sound on a regular basis. But I think I just have to listen to it again before I really make a decision. Track number 5 is Body Memory, and it is nearly 10 minutes. Impressive. Ooh, I don't know what the soundscape is, but I vibe with it. Oh, okay, curse a little bit. Ooh, I heard that hit. I redeem myself. Do I accept this ending? Ooh. I accept my death? Okay. What was that? Rah! It's back. It's like a snarling hound. I feel like that's such an Arca move. I don't know how I feel. Okay. It's kind of morphed into something a little more palatable. Speeding up a little bit. Okay. Thread an ocean through a needle? Oh, wow. Ooh. Choir time. This choir sounds really good. And Björk works really well with it too. Toxic doesn't agree with me. Into a stagnant state. Ew. My body memory kicks in. Patriarchy. Ew. Oh, I see it's a repetition. My body memory kicks in. Oral and anal entrances. Alright, Björk. Okay, this is about intimacy. This part at least. Wow. So that was body memory. What, do we have to do the 10-minute songs each time, Björk? I get it. I looked it up. It's like an optimistic take because it's specifically made to be 10 minutes because we had Black Lake, I think that was called, on Volnakura, where that was also 10 minutes. And she was like depressed as heck because it was right during the Doors. And now she's trying to talk about like all like her struggles, but then make it more optimistic and be like, my body memory kicks in, I can relax, I can keep going, I will push past this. I know myself and I know I can do it. And like, I think it's cool. Like, she's envisioning how she wants to continue living. I mean, I don't know how old she is at this point in time, but given that she'd been like Björk, like an active artist for like what 20 years, and then also like, I mean, she was in a band before that, so like, I mean, she's not like in her 20s at all. So like, she's envisioning how she's spending the second half of her life. You know, she had like a marriage that lasted a decently long amount of time. Like, she, you know, she has kids and everything. Like, she's at this point in her life where she's like trying to continue figuring life out. And I think she's doing a great job. I think Björk still being Björk is great. And like, I think she's really having her body memory kick in and really just allowing herself, first of all, to feel the warmth of another touch, but also like just like a mantra of like, we can keep going on. And I like that, and like the spirit of that. It is a very long song. I liked all the parts in it. I don't think I want to listen to it all start to finish like on a regular basis though. And that's just because of length. Like, I think it's good and I like these pieces. It does get a little bit repetitive, but I like it as a story at least. Track number 6 features Creatures, and this is one of the very few songs on this album that isn't just Björk and doesn't have the Arca like comma. I don't know who the producer is, but it doesn't seem like it's Arca. When I spot someone. Same height as you. Oh. I am 5 minutes away. 5 minutes away from love? Oh my god, Björk. When I hear someone with the same accent as yours, she's literally thinking she's 5 minutes away from love. Okay. Isn't it peculiar? Features Creatures, the song title. Feels like we got some flute and bird sounds again. Yes, maximum flute content. Ooh, muffled vocals. They hit different when they're Björk's. So that was Features Creatures, and what an interesting song. Like, this one was definitely much more subdued, very flute heavy towards the end, and also just very like stripped and simple, and allowed us to really hear Björk. Like, I got to hear most of the words that Björk was saying and could clearly understand them. Like, she articulated them well. These lyrics are really about like her seeing someone on the street with a similar feature that her ex had, and she's like, wow, and I could be in love in 5 minutes. Oh god. That's a personal attack, but also, yeah, I feel for her. Like, especially when she loves so passionately and deeply, it's very clear that she does that. Like, yeah, I could definitely feel that being a part of her character. And she finds it so odd and peculiar how she can like resemble like a man in her mind, like these like features or whatever, and come up with creatures which are just men, and like what an ideal man is, and like whatever, and like it definitely goes back to the Tinder album aesthetic of seeing all these different people and seeing these features. Maybe that person has brown hair or a beard or an accent or whatever, and like she's really just trying to figure everything out. And yeah, I feel for her. It's an interesting song. The flute still have it to figure it out. The lyrics are really like good. Yeah, they're good. I think it was a very interesting sentiment to share. Track number 7 is Courtship. So the flute is still here. He turned me down, then I downturned another. The juice of rejection. Ooh, I can tell Arca's having fun with this song. Ooh, a green-eyed giant. Okay. Will we stop seeing what unites us? Ooh, I like how he switched up a little. Okay, the flutes are going off right now. Well, this feels so environmental, very much like the title track. Is that like a mating call? I don't know if I've mentioned, but it does fully flow, this album, and which is just insane. So that was Courtship. What a song, honestly. Like, Arca having fun. The flutes and the birds still existing here. And we also really get, I feel like the most explicit version of it being her Tinder album, frankly. Like, the downturning, upturning is really just a fancy way of saying swipe left and right, And I thought it was such a cool, interesting metaphor, and like just discussion of it, is that you're getting downturned by someone and you feel bad about it, so you kind of like swipe left on someone else, and so the hurt people kind of thing. But like also the positive energy of someone upturning, and she upturns this other person because she's in a good mood and feels like I guess she could shoot her shot, and then he's just entering her, which, all right. I mean, I expected something explicit because she really does that a lot. But yeah, I think it's such an interesting song. Again, flutes are something I'm going to have to get used to. I realize that that's going to be a main motif in the album. But right now, I'm vibing with it. I liked it for its like lyricalness, and I also enjoyed some other parts of the instrumentation as well. I thought Arca did a pretty good job on this. Track number 8 is Loss. Ooh, we're evolving from Courtship. We all are struggling. We've survived loss. I'm just kind of being engulfed by the instrumentation right now. I don't know what she's saying. Ooh, evolve, okay. Loss of love. She's mourning her heartbreak. Ooh, I like these drum rolls. They're so emotional. Ooh, I don't know if that was the same as the others, but it felt different here. Ooh, it's pounding into me. Ooh, getting a little industrial. Okay, Kick 1-esque. Oh my god, I love this part. Arca is having so much fun. And I am too. This kind of like interluding into the next song a little bit maybe. So that was Lost. I love saying it like that. Yeah, that was Lost. And that very much felt like if you take Volnakura, like the themes of Volnakura, and you put it into Utopia, if that makes sense. Like, it felt lyrically much like that, but you know, you're just getting a lot more Arca in it. And yeah, it was cool. I literally like the end. The end really caught me off guard. There were some parts in the middle and like stuff that I enjoyed, but like that end really hyped me up and woke me up and like, oh my god, yeah. I enjoyed it. It's still a long song, and the Volnakura themes, as much as I do enjoy Volnakura for like what it represents, I'm not sure how much of it being like an album I regularly get to. Basically, I don't listen to it too much, honestly. But like, I enjoy her still discussing the themes. It's just like a certain mood I have to be in for Volnakura, and so it's going to be a certain mood for Loss as well. The difference is I do like this production better, and I feel like it's more, not universal, but like I can think of myself being more often in a mood that would lend itself to listen to Loss over, you know, other songs from Volnakura. I think it also really harkens a lot back to just the love that she shared on Vespertine and sharing, you know, all that she really was giving up and being vulnerable. And like, I really thought that was a really cool thing to make it very personal to her, even as she's talking about the general sense that we all have like this sense of loss that we've, you know, struggled through, we've survived, we've done our best, but like, you know, we're still gonna have that sense of loss, and that pain's always gonna be there to some degree. And I thought it was a touching song. Again, a song I definitely need to hear again. I haven't mentioned it earlier in this video, and I don't know why, because I feel like I say this anytime it's a Björk or an Arca project, and it's a both. But I need to listen to this album again in headphones. It will do it so much justice. And I think the album sounds good now, but I know it's gonna blow me away later. Track number 9 is Sumi. Oh, I guess we got some non-lyrical vocals. Okay. This is kind of catchy, even though I don't think it fits any sort of pattern. This kind of gives me more of a Sophie vibe, honestly. Okay. Yeah, let's go. Sumi, Sumi, Sumi? What for? Ooh, I like that breakdown. Oh, let's go. Let's break this curse. So it won't fall on our daughter. Oh, must be a custody battle? Don't let it sink into her DNA. Yikes. Sue me all you want. Okay, Björk. Ooh. She's like a little bit lower pitched, and it's harder to tell what she's saying here. It sounds interesting. So that was Sue me. Dang. This is about her custody battle. And apparently, like, Barney, I think is his last name, I don't know. He sued Björk around the time of the making of this album for more custody with her daughter. I don't know how that ended up. I can't find any information on that, so if you know, please let me know. Hopefully she still has a good amount of custody of her daughter. And like, this song is savage, honestly. I liked that even though we had the floral, like, that's how I feel like when I feel the flutes and the birds and everything. Like, I feel this floralness. And like, yeah, even with that, and like also the Arca beats, you know, that big contrast, like, she makes it like it's a diss track pretty much, being like, oh, like, he is like the son of all these like fathers who like messed stuff up. And she like sincerely hopes that hopefully like cutting that tie will make it so that her daughter doesn't share that same fate and have to deal with the pain of that. And oh my god, the line at the end, I thought it was going to be interesting. It was. It was all of these fathers, like they all it all up. Like, and she's basically putting that sole responsibility on him for messing it all up, which is very interesting because I think Volnakura didn't show too much anger. There was the not get, which I believe was the angry one. And like there were some other songs on there that were like, oh, I'm a little angry about it. But it did feel like to some extent that there was some sort of mutualness and some mutual understanding that, like, especially in the song Family, that they still had some sort of like parental love for each other, and to make it that they are still that triangle. And even though she blamed him that he needed to be a part of her life. And so I don't see that happening now. Okay. I wonder how Isadora feels. I mean, I'm not going to really talk too much about her because she probably is still a kid. But, like, honestly, it seems having Björk as a parent would be a very interesting experience. And so I do wonder how this is all turning out. I mean, it's not really my business, but I am definitely curious. Track number 10 is Tabula Rasa. Flute it up, okay? Let's put it all on the table. Let's all put it on the table. Let it all out, vent. Ooh, that's an interesting filter. For my children. Tabula Rasa for my children. Started with a clean slate. Not repeating the fathers. Oh, we're continuing from Sumi. My greatest wish is that you're immersed in grace and dignity. Give you the ability to make your own fresh mistakes. For the women to not just take it lying down. Yep. The flute always returns. And it sounds like a rainstorm. So that was Tabula Rasa. And the sentiment is such a very distinct one. I thought the song was beautiful and light, but the lyrics there's a lot here. I think it continues from Sumi. I think it's the perfect placement for after Sumi, where this is where she's kind of speaking to her kids, like, so her daughter, and apparently I realized that she had a son at one point. He's 35 now. She's 18. Dang, I really, like, forget that, like, Vespertine and Homogenic are, like, oh god, they're both, like, over 20 years old now. Whoa. I'm over 20 years old. Okay. Stress. Anyway, sorry. I'm having a bit of an existential crisis right now. It's okay. But yes. So this is her addressing, like, her kids, being like, let's not let how all the fathers, and really I think it's just like the men and like the men in power and all that, like, mess people's lives up. Let's not have all these mistakes happen, like, and be pushed onto you. Instead, clean plate, clean slate, tabula rasa, like, here you go. You get your opportunity. You can make your own fresh mistakes. You get to live your own life. You have to deal with your own problems that I will do my best to help you, but, like, I can't help you with everything. It's also a generational thing with her being like, we really have a lot of problems, like climate change, etc. Like, stuff that the younger generation is going to have to deal with. And she hoped that she could leave as little luggage for the younger generation to carry. It's embarrassing to put this mess onto them, but like she hopes that we can do better than those before us. And uh, that's a burden. That's such a burden, honestly. Okay, so I'm not blaming Bjork in this, but it makes me think about how there are people that are Bjork's age that are, you know, the people in power and everything. And these type of people are like, oh, well, guess we can't really fix that. I guess it's something for the younger generation to deal with. Honestly, like, shut up if you're gonna say that. Like, I really can't stand that, frankly. That's just me, because I'm like, so you're just really like, oh, well, you can solve that problem. I'm like, you still have a job. Like, you're not retired. Like, you're here. You'll be on Earth for a while. And if I have to take care of the planet or take care of you, like, I gotta pick one. Like, I think, yeah, when things start flooding and, you know, places start drying out, we don't have as much food, like, I'm gonna have to eat, frankly. And, like, that's just a stress that I don't think that older generation always keeps in mind. I think Bjork is very well aware of it, but, like, it very much frustrates me of like, oh, I can't wait to see what the younger generation does. You're gonna do so great. And I'm like, you don't know that. Like, you really don't. And you have not set us up for success. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to get out of that headspace because that's going to make me go into more of an existential crisis. But I thought this message was very beautiful. And I thought it was very, like, compelling. And I like it sonically. It's definitely is a little more stripped back and it's still very flute heavy. So I guess I really got to get into flutes to really vibe with this project. And we'll see how much I vibe with them later. Track number 11 is Claimstaker. Wait, this is kind of catchy. What? Do 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 do. Yes, a vibe. I walk through this land. Stake a claim. Okay. Yes, the slow delivery. That's gonna be difficult to understand. Oh, we kind of switched it up to this like very slowness. Okay, it's coming back to that vibe. She just whispered. This fade out except for her voice here is really cool. And by the except for voice, I just mean that like I thought it was fading out, but now it is. So it was Claimstaker, and that was a nice, albeit rather short song. I mean, just over 3 minutes, which is like, you know, a normal song length, but Bjork doesn't do normal song lengths. Oh no. So, like, yeah, this song was cool. I really liked the sound that was at the beginning, the do 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 do. I don't know what that really is. It really like felt like very like it caught me like rhythmically and just like sonically. I just enjoyed it. And I couldn't tell what most of the lyrics were, but I looked it up and it's because they were delivered so slowly. But it was beautiful. And really, it's all about like immersing yourself in nature and finding that utopia. And it seems like here she's really has found that utopia. And like this forest is in me, like this is my home. Like that's such a very much a Bjork feeling to have. Maybe also just a general Icelandic feeling to have. Definitely something I feel like could have been sensed a little more on homogenic and vespertine. But I like the Arca style production on it. I think it works really well. And like, yeah, it's nice. I keep thinking of Aurora when I think of this song, which I think is a good song, so it works. But it also just feels like something that works within Arca's catalog as well as Bjork's. Track number 12 is Paradisia, or Paradisia. I don't know exactly how to pronounce it. But this song does not have Arca on it. I don't know why, but it doesn't. And it's also under 2 minutes. It's a very distinct song, I guess. We have brought the flute to full capacity. Is she even gonna sing on it? Definitely feels like we're adding like some birds and some other nature noises. Oh, that sound was sampled in an earlier song. There was Paradisia. Paradisia, it seems like it doesn't matter because it's instrumental. All right. I see. Because the Utopia and a Paradise are roughly on a similar, vein. And I feel like it was in Utopia itself. Yeah, I think it's going to be that one. Where we heard that bird noise that was at the very end. I feel like we heard that throughout the entirety of that song. And this is a nice instrumental. It's flute and bird noises. It's very much the epitome of what I was saying the motifs were through this project. It is just that. There's a reason why Arca is not there, is that it's a flute and bird, which is all the stuff that Arca wasn't doing, frankly. And yeah, I guess I vibe with it. It was fine. I don't know. Don't ever ask me to react to an album that's solely like a classical music album of just like flute. Like if it's just that, I don't think I have the musicality and the musical background of that sort to really like fully like vibe and talk to you about pitches and like how beautiful it is. It's very pretty. It definitely gives me a floral vibe. I get recurring feelings and recurring colors within this. And I don't know, to me, like, flute, it's good. I do enjoy it. I thought at one point I might play it, but I don't think I have the breath support for it, frankly. But, like, at the end of the day, it's also not, like, I didn't come to a Björk album to hear just, like, flute and bird noises, if that makes sense. Like, I can find some classical flute and some bird noises on the internet and probably make a makeshift song. Is it going to sound as beautiful as Björk's song? No, it's not. But at the end of the day, does it really do much for me? Not really as much as like some other songs on this album that have a lot more lyrical themes. I really do vibe with lyrics a lot. And while I do enjoy like a lot of good sonics, a lot of the sonics I really vibe with are percussion, which is absent here, and also like electronic beats or driving electric guitar, something like that. Not just like a classical flute. I'm not really big into fully classical music because they really don't care that much for percussion or some of the instruments I feel like I just vibe to more. But like, it's beautiful still. Like, I think I can't just sit here and say it's not beautiful, but I don't know if it's going to be my thing. Track number 13 is Saint, and Arca's back. Okay, I see we got some flute and birds continuing on. Oh my god, is this song also gonna be instrumental? Okay, personally I'm grateful that Björk is still singing. Seems like there's a she here. I don't know who she is. At my most awkward. Okay. Okay, bringing some Arca production back in here. I'm here to defend her. Okay. I like this production right here. It's nice. So that was Saint. That was a pretty song. It's about music, actually. The she is music, like a saint. She's the saint. And she is like healing. And I agree, music is healing. I actually am currently applying for like this project about music that will take me across the world. And like, I think of music definitely as a healing thing. And I talk about that in my application. And so it feels very fitting because I had a very stressful day of working on all of that. And so to sit down and hear, Björk, an artist I would definitely really look up to, like talk about how music has that power of healing and connecting people across the world. Like, it feels like a weird coincidence, frankly. I feel like, there's some manifesting, some witchy stuff going on. But like I thought the song was pretty. Apparently some of those vocals are out of sync with each other, and that's how it makes that effect, which I think is a cool effect. And I guess that makes it sound like so a bunch of people are singing with each other, you know? I don't know how much I vibe with the song totally. I like it. I like it better than some of the songs that are just, you know, more solely flute and bird. But I don't know if it's going to be my favorite on the album. And I think it's making me feel about like, while I can appreciate so many songs on this project, how much am I going to listen to them on a regular basis? I don't really know that yet. And it's something that's going to have to come with more listens. But it definitely does feel, I guess, a little bit to the same vibe of Volnakura, but I would say more interesting sonically than Volnakura. Track number 14, last track on this album, Future Forever. Okay, start with some electronic sounds. Turn it all off, your past. Imagine your future and be in it. This love forever. I'm again having an existential crisis. You're already in it, your future. Shoot, you're right. I love how she said forever there. So many vocal layers here. Not sure what's going on anymore. Who I used to be. Oh, is that kind of like the Who I Am from the Arisen My Senses? Hold fast for love. Hold fast for love forever. You fade out on a synth. So that was Future Forever. Existential crisis time. Whoa. Yeah, I mean, I know that's an optimistic song. Sonically, it's pretty. It's very chill. Very like Mutant Arca or even An, you know? Very chill, for sure. And interesting. Like, this song lyrically is about like imagining a future and being in it and dealing with like the fact that, oh yeah, you've had your past or whatever, but also like hold strong, like for the future. You can get there, you can imagine anything. If you can dream it, you can do it. If you can see it, you can be it. I enjoy the message of the song. It just made me think very much like, oh God, like future vibes. It very much got into me like, oh God, like what am I going to do with my life and everything like that. Very much a sense of retired from sad new career in business with like dreaming cost money, my dear, and like class of 2013, like just like that dealing, you know? And I feel hurt a little bit. I feel like kind of seen. I know that this is supposed to be a very optimistic album, but like I'm also like, wow, I'm bogged. I might be depressed a little bit. Who knows? But yeah, this is a cool sound. I think it works for the end of the album. Very much stripped back, but still, you know, it's Björk and Arca still enjoying that time. And yeah, it's definitely a note to end on. And I'm gonna wrap those comments up because the existentialism is kicking in. With that said, we have finished this album. I have to say, I need to go to bed. Frankly, I just need to go sleep. Yeah, I don't know how well I'm gonna be sleeping tonight after this album. I feel like this album, theoretically, if I wasn't paying attention to the lyrics, would be a great album to fall asleep to with all the birds and the flute. Like, I think those are pretty calming instruments. I guess the flute can be a little high pitched and a little much, and like birds are gonna make you think it's like morning and daytime, and it's technically morning, but sure isn't daytime. Yeah, this album is definitely like a piece of art. Like, I really enjoy it. And I think that's how I feel about Volnakura as well. I think this album has really helped me think more critically about that album. In the case of, oh, I like it for what it is, and I could play it in the background. I could play this less in the background. It might be more something I would listen to intentionally. Yeah, like, I don't know. Like, it's the bird and the flute that, like, are dominant motifs, and I get that they are, and that's, like, her version of Utopia. I get that. I don't know if that's going to be my version of Utopia, and therefore what I'm going to really vibe with when I listen to this record. I like it as almost more of an Arca project with Björk lending her vocals to it. Almost like an Afterwards on Kick 1. I mean, it still definitely sounds like a Björk project, though. It's really hard. I know that it's like half and half, like half Björk, half Arca. Like, I get that that's like kind of that relationship. I don't know if I feel like it's more of one or the other. I really think of it as both now. And yeah, it's an interesting collaboration, you know? Yeah. I think it's going to be a Björk album that, like, I think about. I'm like, oh, this is the overall vibe of it. And there's going to be certain songs that I do regularly listen to. But I don't think it's going to be, like, as accessible, I would say, as, like, Homogenic or Vespertine. Like, there are certain songs on there that I can think of that I want to, like, listen to on a regular basis. And this is more of a work where I'm like, I like this album. And I think it's really cool what they've done. And I really admire what they've done. And I do like the album. And I think it is a piece of art. But it's almost like I'm like, can stare at that piece of art, you know, rather than like always like be paying attention to it. Like, I can just like look at it from like afar and be like, that's a good album. Because I do think it's a good album. Is it the album for me? It's definitely not my favorite Björk project. I don't think it's going to be my least favorite either, but I also don't really know because I haven't listened to like half of her projects. And also, I've listened to this album once. I think this album is going to sound amazing in headphones. I think there's a lot going on in it, and I think that's hard to process, especially at the time at which I'm doing that. And like, I like that she's getting into like political themes as well as personal themes. I think it keeps it interesting to hear what Björk's up to. I know she keeps it pretty private otherwise. And I also think, like, sonically, there's a lot going on. And I think Arca should be proud of herself. This might be one of my favorite Arca. I don't know. It's interesting. Because I don't think, like, Björk is that much higher in my, like, scale. Like, how much I like the artist, you know? Like, I think for me, I think I like this because, especially thinking of where Arca's at this time, I definitely like this album more than her self-titled project, I think. I think I need to re-listen to that too. And, like, it feels like you're taking Mutant and really, like, pushing it forward, and, like, the lyrics just really add everything, and Björk's voice is just incredible. So, I think that's where I'm at. I think this album is good, for sure. It's definitely a work of art that I want to appreciate and listen to further. And I think once I've done that, I will be able to like really just feel it. With that said, here are some of my favorites. So the top tier are the songs I love, the standouts are the ones I'll play over and over. Songs in the middle are songs I like. I'll add them to my playlist, but they might not be the top of the top. And songs at the bottom are just not really my thing. Doesn't mean they're a bad song, doesn't mean they can't be your favorite song. Just means it maybe isn't for me. Maybe there's too many flutes or birds, or there's some other reason why it just isn't the song for me. And that's okay. Björk does not make music for Eric. If you like this video, please like it, please comment down below, check me to react or listen to next. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already and you'd like to be. And thanks for watching. This is TurtleStormer. Catch you later.
It's storming turtles from out of the sky. Turtles don't need to know why. Just smile.